Hello everyone, welcome back to another one of our classic live streams. Today we find ourselves in the lovely Philippines. The Philippines, I chose this one because I was poking around on a National Geographic book and I saw these really funky landforms and I'm like, what on earth is that? And then I took a look at what it was. It's called the Chocolate Hills. Did a little bit of research, tried to find us a neat little airport that we could check out, see some things along the way. And I said, hey, we haven't flown out this way before, so this might be a good time to go ahead and try that out. 250-ish. Let me just ask me a question. So today we're going to be traveling around. This is the Beechcraft. This is the 350, the big old turboprop monstrosity. The reason I'm bringing this airplane along and not some other options is because I needed something that had a little bit of mass to it. I needed something that could travel a pretty hefty distance. We have a pretty long flight today. I think total distance is something going to be just shy of 200 nautical miles. We can do about 250. If I do the math real quick, that means we got to get rolling if we're going to be finishing on time today. So let's go ahead and get this big old bucket rolling today, and we'll have a nice little flight here. Now, unfortunately for us, most of these runways and airports we're going to be operating out of today are relatively on the short side. So we're going to have to do a little back taxiing action to kind of get us going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of take us all the way down, flip us around. Of course, in the real world, you would never do this. You'd have to request permission, or actually, we're not towered here. You'd basically have to announce your intentions. And unfortunately, we don't really have a lot of runway to take off from here, which is kind of scary if you ask me. So what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to flip my flaps to the approach setting, which is going to give me a little bit more get up and go. And we're also going to use the short field takeoff technique to try to make it a little bit safer for a takeoff here today. When I was originally planning this flight, one of the aircraft that I did think about taking was actually the L-39, which is another one of those kind of racing planes. But I feel like I'm going to save that one for another day because it's actually a lot of airplane. It's really cool to travel, and it does move very fast for its size. So we'll have to do something like in Ukraine or Georgia or something like that just to kind of get a feel for those planes. Czechoslovakia, although I think one of our second video ever was in Slovakia. That's before I realized you could change the time of day, and then I realized we could go anywhere at any time. So, oh well. Live and learn, live and learn. All right, we're going to go park ourselves as aggressively as we possibly can to get as much runway behind me as I possibly can. Actually, what am I saying? Runway in front of me. Oh, let's go and kick the nose over on this thing. Love the creaking. Oh, man. I don't know if I can back this thing up. Nope. I can't back it up. Oh, well. So we're going to go ahead and I'll wait for everybody to get all nice and caught up with us here. So I'm going to kind of honk it also just a little bit. Like I said, I'm kind of hogging the runway. We'll do our introductions and say hellos and all that other good stuff in just a moment. What I do want to do is I'm going to select an initial altitude. We're probably going to pop up pretty high to get over the ocean. We're going to keep it low initially. Then we're going to go up, and then we're going to come back down, and then we're going to go up, and then we're going to come back down, like I said, as a way to kind of improve our cruise speed here. Wow, that's ambitious. Good luck with that one. Let me know how that turns out. You know what we really need is a Boeing 707. Desperately need one of those things. All right, we're looking pretty good. All systems are go. Going to hit flip on the flight director. Going to go bring up both throttles at the same time. Wait for the crouch. Got to wait for the governor to catch. Nice and smooth. There it is. Let's go. I feel like I'm being chased by the world's largest hive of bees. Knots. 90. Lift the nose. Positive rate. Gear up. And we are on our way once again. Cannot wait to see the sights today. I'm going to wait till I clear everything that's underneath me. Go ahead and pop my flaps up. Let that nose come down. Of course, if you're in the back seat right now, you're lifting just a tiny bit outside of your seat, but that's okay. Not worried about it too much. Going to go ahead and swing to the right. And we're going to go lift that nose up just a little bit. We're going pretty darn quick here. We'll hold it about 10 degrees. And we'll make our way inland here. Now, the cool thing about the Philippines, I did a little tiny bit of research here, is that some of the names of things are kind of fun as we fly over. For example, we're going to be passing the town of America. And when I think of that, I always think of things like, monster trucks and, Confederate flags and things like that. Bald eagles. So it's kind of a fun concept. just going to kind of swing out this way. We're basically going to have to clear this pretty hefty mountain range here. Like I said, this aircraft is more than capable of powering past all of it, which is one of the reasons they opted to go for this particular plane today versus some of our other choices. Something with a regular propeller would have just been a little too slow for this flight, unfortunately. Couple whacks of the old trim. And I think we are good. Perfect. So first thing I noticed is, for those of you who flew with us many, many ages ago when we were in Papua New Guinea, the terrain immediately reminds me of Papua New Guinea. The only difference here is I'll have nearly as many of those little grass runways that we always kind of try to land on. Super duper fun area, by the way, for those of you who've not experienced that one before. All right, go ahead and pitch up just a teeny tiny bit and go check on my temperatures, make sure they're good. Torque is fine, that's good, that's good. Prop is good. Strange thing here is I can never get the prop to get up to full RPM, but it seems like it doesn't affect anything negatively, so it's not really something that I'm worried about, I guess. Oh well, it's all good. Generally on turboprops anyway, if you're messing with the prop handle, it's because you're trying to reduce noise. It's not has anything to do with improving performance. All right, I'm gonna swing a little bit more to the right here. Again, I'm just using my feet to kind of steer right now because I'm lazy. Okie dokie. Just like I said, when I get up to my cruise altitude, then I'll say hello to everybody. I'm gonna swing a little bit to the left here. Go ahead and arm nav. And we're good to go. Love it. Gotta love the G3000. That's a lot of display. Those big screen things. The one thing I'm missing out on, though, is there's not nearly enough fingerprints, like all of the little corners where somebody tries to reach down to like knock a little piece of dust off, and then the finger comes in contact with the screen, and then you have this nice little, greasy finger smear kind of chilling across the top. You know the ones. Make it so much more authentic. All right, swing to the right a little bit. Probably I should do a video on the G3000. We haven't done that in a while either. I'm just concentrating on my flying at the moment here. This is a pretty quick plane. Getting an altitude warning. Start that early leveling off process. Whoa! Got a little bit of turbulence today. There we go, about 4,900 feet. Whoop! Oh! It's one of those things that you always see in flight sims of people holding the altitude exactly perfectly. Then you get in the real world and start to realize, yeah, you do the best you can with what you have sometimes. All right, go ahead, start leveling off. And we're just about there. That is lovely. Make sure you hit that switch, otherwise it's going to get a little grumpy on you. It's flashing. It should be holding Alt, and we're good. Nice. I did it. All right, let's see who's with us today. All right, Laffle welcome back. You're definitely going for the high score there. Definitely going for the high score. Great choice with the 7. I really got to get this plane at some point. Reaper MD, welcome back. Fanderfet, welcome back. Smiley Bow, welcome back. Tallest Cube, welcome back. Gotash, I don't recognize you right away. Sorry if I've missed you. Fast Ted, welcome back. Dreamed Claw, welcome back. Simon, I see you back there somewhere. Roosevelt, I don't recognize you, but welcome if I've missed you from before. Taking a peek, Fotenoggle, I think you're back there somewhere. Yep, I think you're just right in there. Welcome back. I've missed you as well. And I think I cannot read any more of the text here, so you'll have to apologize if I miss one of your names here. Yep, there's Simon right there. And we're good. All right, let's do it to it. All right, so like I said, Philippines, we got this very, very large mountain range that basically is kind of swing along this left island here. This is one of the major islands. This is, we're going to be passing over the town of Buga, apparently, right off my left-hand side here. But I forget the name of this. I'm not going to try to look it up in a hurry, but talk about, it's just incredible that you have all this volcanic activity, you turn your head, and then it's like, oh, hi. You got kind of this sort of wide plain that's directly to the left of it. One thing I get a kick out of is every time you see little things like this, where you have these little bodies of water, for a fact these are probably amazing, amazing waterfalls just ripping down the side of these mountains here, kind of rushing down into the galleys. I mean, it makes me remember way back, like I said, back to Papua New Guinea again, when we were basically following these things down as a desperate way to try to get through the mountain ranges safely in aircraft that were a little underpowered for the purpose. All right, so we've got ourselves a little bit of room here. We're a little low, so we're going to have to pop up a little bit of altitude as we make our way towards the next major pass. Looking directly off our nose here. Like I said, as we're kind of cruising along, we're going to have to come a little bit more to the right. There's basically a series of multiple islands. This gigantic thing you're looking right off your nose right here, we're actually going to hang a little bit more to the east of it, because right now, as it is, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, we're basically going to go smacking directly into the top of it there. Also, we're losing a little bit of performance, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go dial us up a little bit more altitude and try to get over the top of that and a little to the right. Like I said, we're looking for the Chocolate Hills, which are going to be kind of to the east just a tiny bit, so we'll go ahead and pop up to that in just a minute as well. We'll go to Flick, and we'll go ahead and select a speed of, and we'll climb at we'll call it $1.75. That should get us going up pretty darn fast. And guess who pushed the wrong button when they selected their heading? What good is the world's best one? Zaihan says, hello, welcome back. It is midnight right now in Southeast Asia. That's just a longitude. Got it. Got it. So what you can do if you're worried about time of day, you can bop this button. And there's this really neat little thing here. You can actually, this is exactly what it looks like in this part of the world right now. It's a little dark for us, I kind of like it the way it was. I think yesterday got earthquake. Yes. Yes. A lot of volcanic activity in this particular region. Like I said, the only reason we're going to get a little altitude is that we have a pretty good hunk of change that we have to kind of narrow our way through. And then we're going to go heat up with those smaller islands a little bit further down, and then we're going to come swing back down again. So again, we're trading a little bit of time and climb for a little bit of quicker cruise speed here. Just working out some quick calculations here, making sure my thing looks good. Yeah, we should be more or less right on course at this particular point. Like I said, this will take us off of over 3 of the islands, like I said, past the big one, and then it's going to take us right to those funky mountains. And then hopefully we're able to land this thing at the teeny tiny runway that we have waiting for us. Find that thrust reverser key if you have not grabbed it already. Lafarog, you might want to check your landing gear also. Try to say this to anybody else I don't recognize. Peter 80212. Oh, awesome, Canadian Goat. Canadian Goat, what is your in-game name there? I'll try to see if I can spot you there. I'm going to go flip this one over. I think I could probably give it just a little bit more torque. Yeah, I got a little bit of room. You can see, as long as I have a little bit of headroom. Ages and ages and ages ago, we had a really, really good guy. He was a helicopter mechanic. He basically did stuff on the gas turbines. He joined us and told us all about how indestructible the PT6 turbine is. So apparently, as long as you stay within the color, you shouldn't have any issues with it before. Tom Burns says, made a first little nav map performance profile this weekend after watching it. Thanks for the tips. Works great. No, I'm glad to hear that. Same thing you're probably going to do, Tom, at some point in the future, is you're actually going to have different profiles for different altitudes. Now, the reason that I do that is because, like, for example, at a 172, it is a totally different beast at 2,500 than it is at 7,500 feet. So it's always worthwhile to kind of go in and kind of tweak those things as well. A Gotash. Oh, I did see you. I did see you. Oh, man. I can hear that. I'm amazed he's able to fly with non-turning engines. That's pretty intimidating looking. I think this is the Vertigo. No, it's one of ours. It's one of ours. I just saw you, Gotash. Unless you snuck up on my... Oh, there you are. TBM, great choice. Like I said, we're going to be able to outspeed you a little bit once we get a little more altitude underneath us. All right, we're crossing 10 grand. Double checking my vector here. What's our vector, Victor? We should be right on target. We should miss that really, 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 really tall mountain off our left. I mean, take a look at the size of this. It's like island, nothing, bam, volcano. It's so incredible. What I will do, though, is I will tweak the atmosphere just a teeny tiny bit. See if I can take advantage of this stuff here. If you crank up the humidity, hey, that's what it looks like flying in the summer where I live. Actually, it would probably be closer to this, but of course, like I said, it would be that time of day as well. Drop that sucker down. Messing with the pressure should also change this. Theoretically, if I go this way, it should get a little brighter. No, I won't do that. That will mess with things a little bit too much. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Now, I remember when Flight Sim first came out, this version, how you could basically see this level of quality all the way to the edge, like way over here, which was absolutely incredible. Welcome back, Torodon. You'll be able to catch us. If you're looking for an airport you want to kind of intercept us at, you can take off from Romeo Papa Victor Delta. And if you take off from Romeo Papa Victor Delta, I believe you can make your heading 20 degrees-ish, and that should pop you pretty much right on to where we are going to intercept you, especially if you're popping up to 11 or 12,000. All right, speaking of 11 or 12,000, there's 11,000 feet. Roger, Roger. So for those of you who are not sure what Rick's mentioning here, though, this is a great movie from late 1970 by the Zucker brothers called Airplane. For those of you who have not seen it and you're a fan of airplanes, you're absolutely positively missing out because it's such a classic piece of airplane humor. One of my favorite details in that movie, for those of you who have not seen it, is they wouldn't allow them to do it in a propeller airplane. So what they did is they did it in a 707, but every time you had an exterior shot of the airplane, like this, you would always hear airplane, like propeller droning noises versus jet engine droning noises instead. So it was, a nice little touch there. Nice little touch. Yeah, Zion's absolutely right. I can't imagine how hot this particular region is. And I'm not going to quick out and pull out the latitude and longitude here, but I promise you it's going to be a lot. No problem, Toro. Let's see here. Now, the interesting thing is, will he be able to catch up with us? Because what's going to happen is take a look at my calculations real quickly. It's going to be right over here. I see how we're going to have to deal with this real quickly. Let's see. Good. That takes care of that. Hey, you know you've gotten popular when people try to sneak on legal websites onto your thing there. Always kind of fun. There goes Rick again. So, quit smoking cigarettes. Exactly. Now, the interesting thing is about that movie, too, without getting too far. It was actually almost, not shot for shot, but they took a lot of this movie called 0 Hour, which was an early airplane disaster movie that came before it. And it was also an absolutely amazing movie. Because, like, when you watch it, and then you go watch Airplane, you realize that a lot of the comments they made in the movie Airplane, they basically literally ripped one for one out of it. And it just makes that original movie that much sillier. But again, amazing movie. Now, if you really want to blow everybody's mind, there was a movie that came a little bit earlier than that. That was Forbidden Planet, that has Leslie Nielsen in it as a captain of a spaceship, and there's no humor. It's literally a straight shooting movie, and it's actually, I think, one of the better science fiction works you can probably watch out there. So if you want to see something Leslie Nielsen not being funny, it's an absolutely excellent movie, and it also has some really unique concepts to it. I was, like I said, got a super kick out of it. All right, I'm getting 277 over the ground right now, which is absolutely awesome, because I knew if I got a little bit more altitude, we'd go faster. I think we can get up to 14 or 15 and pick up even more speed, but I'm going to wait until everybody behind me is all nice and kind of sorted out here. Looking behind me, that looks pretty good. Nothing too crazy, nothing too crazy. Yep. So what we'll do is we'll probably pop up just a tiny bit higher. Like I said, this is kind of the long part of the flight. The short part of the flight is once we get to that island near Tagbilaran, I believe is the name of the town. But again, my pronunciations are terrible. All right, let's pop up just a little tiny bit higher here. Go up to 14.5. Go ahead and flip on the flick button there, and we'll go ahead and travel. We'll make this a pretty gentle cruise climb. Like 215 or something like that. All right, Toro says he's on a delegation with my laptop and no joystick, relying on AI for takeoffs and landings, so I'll be surprised when it flies into a control tower. I love that. I love that. For those of you who haven't played with that, by the way, if you open this one, it's a completely different type of flying. No, but one of the great things is you actually have a lot of control here, and like what I really like is they actually give you recommended speeds here. Something that I really wish that I probably have to do a 5-minute video on, just reminding people that all the numbers that you need are actually built into this, which is awesome. But also notice if I switch to cursor mode, like what I am now, he'll actually take over the control. By the way, don't let them have radio communications. If you do this, they will be changing radio stations the entire flight, making you crazy. Also, the AI auto trim is okay, but you got to be kind of careful because sometimes it doesn't interpret what your intentions are when you go into a dive. This is stupid. Don't use this one. And of course, AI piloting is pretty fun to play with, and I leave these on because they're awesome. Yes, I believe it used the theremin. You're too good for me. As always, Simon points out all these excellent facts about it. It was a completely electronic soundtrack in that movie. So again, if you've not seen the movie Forbidden Planet, which has nothing to do with what we're doing right now, check it out. Because like I said, it's Leslie Nielsen in a serious role. It's actually kind of a fun movie. And it has a lot of really, like, I'm such a sucker for hard science fiction, which it probably shows, like that kind of a thing like that. All right, so I'm just taking a look at my little courseometer here. You know, that's a technical term for a compass. Let's see here, 144, we should be crossing in. I'm just doing the math real quick. I have my little E6B out. Speaking of E6B, I had to do a private pilot test last weekend. So it's a good kind of thing to measure just what I think I know about real flying versus what they actually electronically say that you know about real flying. And did really, really well. Really, really, really well. But be careful about cloud types, apparently. That's something I don't know enough about. So I've got some research to do. And there's another really, really fun question on there about what frequencies that helicopters are supposed to be using, which I was absolutely clueless on. But it's so fun that, like, no matter what you think you know, there's still so many things we'll never know, which, again, this is what makes flying so much more fun. All right, kind of just like I said, this nice gentle climb. We're going to lose a bunch of altitude in a minute, but for now, like I said, I just want to get us up high enough so we can take advantage of the thinner air, you know, without going too high here. It's based on The Tempest by Shakespeare. Excellent, excellent. I'm actually going to have to come to the left just a teeny tiny bit here. It's going to be like a degree left. Love it. Now, one thing I'd like to do real quickly is I'd like to monitor my fuel systems. Love this plane because it has a really stupidly complicated fuel system. You've got your auxiliary tanks, which are these two, and then you've got your main tanks, which are these two. And you're probably saying, which one's which? Well, take a look here. If you actually look, your two aux tanks, they're actually pulling fuel from all of these tanks together. So like if you watch it for half a millisecond here, notice it sucks them all down at the same time, which is just incredibly, like, I get it for balance purposes because the auxiliary tanks are right here. So what they're trying to do is suck the fuel out with it at the same time. But notice it's basically double the amount. Now, I've taken off without any fuel in the aux tanks before. It's just kind of neat. And does this work for anybody, by the way, the consumption and CO2 emission? I don't know. Are there any performance mods for the King Air? Will asked that question. I do not know, Will. If you give me 5 seconds on Google, I could probably take a look for us. King Air 350i MSFS mod. Let's see if I can find anything for us. There is an improvement mod for it that edits the flight model. Let's see here. Values went back down. Oh, they took away some of the performance. I'm just trying to see here. Oh, you can change the color for the emissions that come out of the back. You can get chrome seats. Neat. Let's see, reduces the flap lift. Okay, so there's a mod out there for those of you who are interested. And there's one that you can actually activate, and it'll put a co-pilot right here, so you could fly along with somebody rather than you just sitting there by yourself. So cool. So there is a couple things like this. Zehan asked my spec for my computer. Let me see here, MS Info. What is that one called? System information? That's the one I want to use. I just want to see if I can do this without, tipping my hand or anything like that. Boop. Let's see exactly what this looks like. This is it. This is what my system looks like. Like I said, I don't have anything on here that shouldn't be whatever it is, but that's basically all my numbers for those of you guys who are curious about it. Short version is, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. All right, we should be just about up to 14,500. Our destination is basically going to be right over here, so we're going to have to start losing altitude in a few minutes. Oh, man, look at the size of this thing. That is so... Ooh, what is this? Microsoft Flight Simulator 10? Come on, guys. Like I said, MSFS was having some issues with their servers right when we started a little live stream today, so it doesn't surprise me that we're having a little bit of issues with this as well. But that's pretty darn cool. Oh, man, look at that. Just love it. Oh, man, I love it. All right, 14,000. We're now getting 270 over the ground, so even though I did pitch us up for the climb, we are still cruising unbelievably fast. This is so cool. And I'm going to have to come to the left a teeny tiny bit. All right, we're crossing over La Castellina, and we're going to be coming up on the next island. We're passing over the town of Tapon and Bogo, which is awesome. And if Toro, oh, look at that, I was right. So remember, if you remember about 10 minutes ago, I gave this chap a quick little vector on how to intercept us. He's actually absolutely perfect for where he's coming in right here. Because what's going to happen is he's going to hit us right this way. No, it's an RTX 3080 GTX. But like I said, I was mentioning earlier that he was going to kind of intercept us at a halfway airport, and I actually think he's going to be quick. But my recommendation for Toro is you're probably going to have to bring that slightly more to the right, or even bring it over directly over the area to your east. But again, we'll see exactly what happens. We're going to be diving in a few minutes. The interesting thing, though, is the rest of the airplane looks gorgeous. I mean, that thing's just pretty. Look straight down. Man, that's awesome. Just imagine just cruising on this road here. Just, gentle, relaxed, nothing crazy going on. And meanwhile, we're sitting up here at this very, very comfortable altitude in this nice little, extremely expensive airplane, just kind of taking in the sights. Granted, in the real world, this would be a lot more humid. It'd be a lot more cloudy. But hey, I'll take what I got, kind of a thing like that. All right, 280 over the ground. We're moving. All right, taking a look here. We should be crossing over. Yeah, we're going to be crossing the bay in just a second. And then our next island afterwards. So let me go ahead and pop us out real quick here. So this zone right here is going to be the island we're not going to pay attention to. The island we're going to be interested in is going to be this one that's going to be right behind it. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over right when we hit this edge right here. We're going to knock our altitude right out. And we're going to go take a look at this neat little landform that's going to be sitting over here. Like I said, very often we don't get the chance of flying in this region, which is just awesome. Like I said, what other game would give you this capability? We can almost see the curvature of the Earth, but we're a little too low for that. I'm going to go ahead and get everything configured. I'll go ahead and get everybody an altitude in a minute if you give me a moment. Let's see here. We're looking at an altitude. I'm just trying to see here. It's pretty low. Let's call it 3,000 feet is going to be your target altitude here. Go get that pre-selected. I'm sure most of you are flying by hand at this point. And we'll do that when we get a little lower. There we go. Perfect. Nice. Love it. Very, 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 very nice. What am I doing? I can just do one of these. There we go. That was making me crazy. Whoop. I always do that. Perfect. Got it. The interesting thing is we don't have a lot of these buttons, but wouldn't it be amazing if these keys actually worked properly? Like you have your charts and your maps, and you could bring up the FMS for the computer calculations. And you have the big. Wouldn't this be so cool? I don't know. It's just me. And I'm also a little disappointed that this kind of works. Yes, definitely. We're actually not going to get anywhere close to the capital here. It's going to be basically way, way up to, I don't want to guess right away. I'm going to be wrong no matter what I say. It's basically northeast, or northwest rather. It's basically right up here is where the capital is. It's several islands over. So that's going to be kind of that. All right, so taking a look out the window, we'll be descending in, let's call it about 5 or 6 minutes. And like I said, we'll come right nice and low, right through this little bay right here and kind of take a look. Toro, looks like you're doing excellent there. Just kind of keep cruising along and you should be fine. Like I said, I'm doing the best I can to vector based on what information I have at my disposal, of which is not much. Unfortunately, Little Nav Map, while it's a wonderful piece of software, it does not easily tell you where other airplanes are, only on account of the fact that it only links up with VATSIM, which is kind of a bummer. All right, swinging this way just a little bit. This is super fun to do because I can put it on my extra screen. And one of the things I found out actually the other day when I was playing with external instruments is the fact that with external instruments, you actually have the ability to send them across the network. So you could actually have like a tablet or something that you send the instruments to, or you could have a separate computer that you could send the instruments to, basically giving you the capability to remote that stuff. So if you don't have if you have a laptop or something, you can still use external instruments as long as you're on the same network, which I think is amazing. Just trying to figure out that. I thought that was a ski slope for half a second there, but I'm pretty confident there's not a lot of ski slopes in the Philippines. Or if there are ski slopes in the Philippines, they're most likely going to be indoors. All right, I'm just about ready for a descent. This is so cool. I don't know why, I just love this stuff. I just love flying in general. My flight this morning got canceled, unfortunately, in the real world because it started snowing. And even though snow is frozen, the visibility was 1/4 of a mile, which kind of sucks. There's a free transmitter app that you can use with the little nav map. Oh, that is so cool. I'm going to have to find out what that is. Transmitter. I'm just checking it out real quick. This sounds like a neat one. Yeah, Zyhan, the thing that makes these kind of planes more complicated is the fact that the turbines take forever to slow down and speed up. That's killer. And you're also so much heavier. So that means you have to go faster and everything happens sooner as well. That is so cool. Because I believe what's supposed to happen is if I come down here and I zoom out, theoretically, you should all be visible as little white squares with little lines that would tell me exactly where you are right now. So like you can see, we're not going exactly to this target. We're actually heading right here, which I think is interesting because my thing's all messed up. Ah! Let's fix that real fast. Whoopsies. That's not actually what I want to do. I actually want to remove this one. There we go. Got it. Of course, it's the wrong airport. Oh well. I'll fix it later. All right, cool. All right, let us begin our descent. And let's see here. We'll pick a nice safe speed of 240 knots. Delightful. I don't think we need to go down that fast. Virtual flight online. I gotta check this out. Actually, I think somebody was mentioning that before. Virtual flight online. Virtual flight online. Internet operate virtual airline group flights with passenger A cars, ATC. So it's sort of like, okay, so it's like a VATSIM Lite almost, is kind of what I'm seeing with this one. I gotta check that out. Virtualflight.online, I think is the website for that one. And we could probably decrease my descent speed just a tiny bit here. One of the things I love about the flight level change button is you just adjust things by basically pitch, and that's more than enough to kind of get you set up. All right, we got to come to the left a little bit here. I feel like we're getting like some kind of crosswind or something I haven't been taken into account. Definitely got to check that out, William. That's super cool. Maybe do a video on it a little later on. All right, let's see if the guy in the back is sleeping. Hey, are you sleeping back there? No? All right. That's what I was saying. I think I'm doing 1,000 feet per minute here. I need to be a little bit slower on my descent. I really don't need 1,000 feet per minute. All right, let me keep looking at it. All right, it's pretty good. That's a little better. Now it's only like 800 feet per minute. Better, better. Let's see what it says. 1,050 feet per minute. We should probably give it just a tiny bit more. Basically trying to descend right to this point here where our crazy little mountains are going to be, hopefully. Again, it totally depends on just how carefully I calculated everything, which is probably not good. You can actually click and drag this, by the way. Love that. Look at the size of that. Yeah, Nictus, I was mentioning track IR. I will not do track IR online because I'm sure this is already making you crazy. But it's you gotta a lot of this and a lot of hang on, let me simulate a lot of this. It's not that it's a bad thing. It's that it's just one of those things where it's a little tough on audiences. I do like it, but I use it more. I usually do VR when I fly on my own. Obviously, I'm not going to do VR in a live stream because you guys would puke and you would all quit. But I really like track IR, especially like in DCS and stuff like that, which is just, you basically have to have it, otherwise you're going to get yourself killed there. Toro, I think you are a little too efficient. So I'm just taking a look at you right here. Like, you're perfect as far as that vector goes. Like, I'm looking at the window. By the way, great way to determine if you're going to crash into something. If you look out the window, if you notice the object is starting to move this way, it means you will not collide. If the object's moving this way, it means you won't collide. If it stays at the same point on the horizon, it means you are on a collision course. So in this case, if I hold my mouse right over Toro right now, see what's happening? See how he's slowly shifting to the left there? That simply tells me that he's getting ahead of me. He's not getting behind me. So he will beat us to the little zone there, but that's perfectly fine. All right, we're crossing 10 grand. I'm looking at my little meter here. We're getting very, very close to where I want to be. Basically, we want to descend right into the middle of the island here. So I'm actually going to bring the nose down just a teeny tiny bit. I want, like, these little bumps right here are what we want to go smacking into. So I'm going to point it right there. This is so convenient how you just have a little digital display that shows you what you want. The one in the real world, by the way, will draw these giant pink rectangles that'll tell you exactly where the aircraft is and where it needs to be based on your given flight plan. It's just, it's so freaking cool. Absolutely cool. There we go. So you can imagine there's probably some forts and some cannons here blocking this little waterway. And there's a place called San Francisco, and it's right up here. It's actually kind of neat. I'm just looking real quick, making sure I'm not getting lost here. I think I'm mostly not lost. Good. So basically, we're going to find this a series of mountains. I'll go ahead and call up a picture of them, too, if for some reason we don't get close enough to them. To the wiki. So this is what we're going to be looking for. So fingers crossed that the version in Flight Sim looks something like this. Alright, just gotta kind of take us down by hand now. It's doing an okay job. I just want to bring us down ourselves. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to look anything like that when we get there. Autobahn pilot. So Rick brings up another excellent airplane reference. The autopilot in the movie Airplane is an inflatable blow-up doll. And, you know, the inflation valve is located right at his waist. And as long as he's inflated and holding the controls, the aircraft operates properly. So it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, gotcha. My brain for just half a second expected tennis courts. I don't know why. All right. Everybody keep your eyes peeled. We're looking for something that looks like bumpy bumps. Certainly looks that way on the synthetic vision there. It's interesting, all that lovely energy that we've accumulated climbing upwards, I'm basically rejecting. I think I just got beeped at. Lovely. That's what I figured. Or another really, really neat geographic feature in the Philippines, too, are the paddy fields that are basically terraced out of the side of mountains. It's absolutely wild. You're not wrong, Nictus. You're not wrong. Hey, I don't judge. I don't judge. Maybe these people like tennis. It's one of those things that when you fly around in the real world and you go over like your neighbor's house or something like that, you immediately go, I had no idea my neighbor had this pool in his backyard. Or, you know, you're cruising around and you realize that weird like dirt road that goes down like the side somewhere downtown. You had no idea it goes to like basically a facility that makes, you know, F-117 parts or something like that. True story, by the way. We got chased out of the woods by security. It was pretty fun. The whole area was called Powder Ridge, and what had happened is basically they used to do bomb testing back there. So the reason they called it Powder Ridge, obviously, but the thing that was super interesting is they basically put some R&D stuff that did like stealth components and things like that. And it was like this whole like secret thing, and like, you know, like 2 o'clock in the morning, like these like military convoys would just like come rolling out of there, and it was like always like the weirdest thing. But it's just kind of a fun thing that like nobody knew about it, but everybody knew about it. So it's just kind of this, huh? If you ever need intelligence, just go on Google, right? There we go. Kind of keep us nice and low here, and then we're going to appreciate the jungle here. One thing I appreciate immediately is because now we have mountains, all of a sudden there's a lot less folks living here. But like I said, this is a pretty big island as well. And I'm just going to be keeping an eye out, like I said, for that landform, which should pretty much be off of our 12 o'clock. We should be seeing it any minute. There we go. This thing trims so nice. Also, Flight Sim, please fix your trim. In the real world trim, I push the thing, it's linear. In this plane, I press and hold, it speeds up. It should not do that. So if the good folks at Microsoft ever watch these, please fix the trim so that it works like a real person trim. The folks over in X-Plane, they understand how it works, and that's how it is in a real plane also. All right, I got a couple little bumps. I don't think that's what we're looking for, though. Like I showed you a few pictures. Oh, there's another one. So I guess this is what we're looking for. It's way cooler in the picture, though. I'm not going to lie. It's neat. I like this one too. This is kind of neat as well. All right, so we should be seeing it right off our 12. So I'm going to come to the left just a tiny bit. It should basically be right there. That's what we're looking for. And I do not see it unless you folks do. 500. Apparently I'm 500 feet above ground level. I mean, I love the landforms here. This is so cool. Like, imagine getting a little ultralight glider, or like not a glider, motor glider, and just like ripping through those little mountains right there, like zipping up that valley. And there's like the little tiny stream, and you have like the super tight little jungles and everything along the sides of it. This is going to be so cool in VR later on to play around with. Swing to my right a little bit. I think I'm getting off course here. And I love how heavy the controls are in this airplane. That's so pleasant. Nice. Should probably watch where I'm flying. All right, according to my calculations, this should be roughly where that photograph that we saw on Wikipedia, the chocolate hills, are. So look for a bunch of small landforms. Like I said, they might have covered them up with trees so we can't see them directly, but that's exactly what we're flying over at this time. Yeah, it's basically what it is right there. That's it. Should probably look out the window, shouldn't I? Yep, that's it. Huh. That's cool. I like how they basically covered all the cool stuff with trees. Bummer. Oh well, Microsoft, you did a nice job. All right, we're going to go swing to the left here. And we're going to make our way towards the northwest, and we're going to basically coming in for a landing. Now, the one downside of our landing today is that we're going to be awfully low, awfully short runway, sorry. So I'll kind of use your reversers. If you don't know where the button for reverse is, then you might want to go find it. Or you can do what I always use, and use I call it ground handling to get you stopped in a hurry. Look at this, look here. Look at that. Like, that's what it should look like. So this is it, the Chocolate Hills. Okay, the picture was so much cooler than, the thing in the brochure was so much cooler than it is in the actual world. I'm half disappointed. I'm like, not mad, I'm half disappointed. Oh well. All right, anyway, what I was saying is make sure your reverse works, because we're going to have to do this. Oh, well. Like I said, I showed everybody the picture a few minutes ago. All right, So with the reverse button on this aircraft, we do have a reverser on it. Basically what you do is you pull all the way past the end of the throttle and you press reverse. What I do is I have a button bound to it, so I can just press that button in a hurry to go ahead and get ourselves backed up if we need to. So we're going to be heading north. It's about 50 nautical miles. It's a relatively short hop for us. I'm getting 250 over the ground. That's, yeah, not too bad. Pratt & Whitney, go brrr. This is Pratt & Whitney Canada, Nick, this. I love it. All right, I gotta swing to the right a little bit. Let's see if I can go fix up my GPS here. It's all sorts of borked now. Now, where's the direct button? I'm gonna click here. We're gonna type in RPSM. I know that's what it just said a second ago. Deal. Activate. And there we go, right on course. Navigation hold, autopilot, I'll go. Nav mode, which mode do we actually have armed right now? We're on AP, we're on altitude 3,000 feet. We'll go ahead and pop up a little higher. It's a relatively short ride, but we do want to take advantage of the slightly thinner air here. Flick. We're going to go set our flick speed to 175. I love this thing. It's just so easy to fly. And we're perfect. Love it. Now, the funny thing is, in the real world, when I fly, I never get stuff this nice, usually. So one of the things that I have... Oh, nice! Rick's got a button for it. I wish I had that button. I have a thing on the side of my joystick I can press. But one of the cool things is in the real world, we have tablets, like, our little iPads and our Android, your S7s and stuff like that. And they're spectacular devices because you'd be sitting there on your tablet, basically on your lap right now, going through, checking all the weather, you'd be checking all the procedures, you'd be checking all the frequencies, you'd be checking all the traffic, getting all that sorted out, and then you'd go back to the rest of the airplane and you'd start clicking your buttons and stuff like that, trying to get it set up for whatever particular type of approach or whatever you're going to do. In this case, I'm so disappointed. Bang, I'll get you for this. But one of the things is as you're getting all that set up is you have plenty of time to react. I'm looking down, we're 37 nautical miles out. So basically, as soon as we hit this little thing, the runway is going to basically be off our nose. For those of you getting prepared for landing, there's two runways. We have runway 34 and we have runway 16 to land on. I'm going to be going for runway 34. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set my heading bug now, because it's going to keep me sane when I get a little closer. We're basically going to enter into a long left base for tree 4, at least I will. And like I said, this is not a very long runway, so once you do see it, you will appreciate it. Gotcha. There we go. So that's going to be a runway heading right here. We just have to be really, really careful with that, because like I said, we're going to come, it's going to be short, and I'm probably going to come in too fast. I'm going to have to cheat and press the Y key in order to save me. Oh well. I believe I have a thing here. 10 minutes? Yeah, it's not going to be 10 minutes. It's going to be 8 minutes and change. The rest of the airplane was new to your grandpa. That's fun. This is so cool. This is a neat area. I'm really impressed. Like, you read about, like, at least for me, you read a lot about the Philippines, the kind of early part of the 20th century. You hear about the Philippines during World War II, and I knew it was big, but this is like just one little teeny tiny island of the entire archipelago that goes way, way, way up this way. At some point, we're going to have to do something in Indonesia as well, but it's like, good luck finding which island you're going to land on. There's just so many. And again, it's another absolutely pretty region. One thing I do want to check out real fast, though, I'm just curious what the weather is. Just curious. There it is. Have a good one, Toro. Have a good one. Toro, like he was saying, doesn't have a joystick. Okay, that's more what I expected. That's cool, Rick. I used to have a joystick, my old throttles, my SATEC throttles, the little tiny handle black ones that like everybody starts with, those you could actually pull past the end, and there's a button there, and when you pushed it, you could use it to toggle reverse, or hold reverse. I actually have a button on my joystick by my thumb that I can actually jam on in order to hold down in the reverse. All right, now we got to worry about wind. Wind right now for me is coming out of the east almost directly at 18 knots, which means a death crosswind, so we'll disable that when we get a little bit closer. I just want to see what the weather looked like. Another thing I'm really curious about is going to be what the air temperature is. Interesting. Apparently, the outside air temperature has not appropriately locked onto us at this time, which is a little scary because I'm pretty confident it's probably warmer than 14 right now. All right, let's see. Yeah, getting basically a headwind. I'm going to disable that. Like I said, it's just gonna slow me down. There we go. Definitely. All right, 7,500. We're going to come floating back down. 26 nautical miles. That's, what is that, 7 minutes, something like that? Ooh, less than 5 minutes. We probably should start descending already, because we're basically there. I'm going to wait to get a little closer and basically drop off the edge here. Check out some of the videos in the Honeycomb Bravo. Oh, Rick, I've actually been looking at the Honeycomb Bravo for ages. I have an interesting problem. I just don't have room on my desk for it. One of the things I actually have with my current stick is it's on an extension with like a little like Monster Tech clamp that grabs onto everything. It's a great setup, except for the fact I have to take it apart and basically hide it, and I can almost not fit myself now. It's kind of annoying. Just checking the fuel here. All right, that's fine. Good to go, good to go. I'm actually kind of curious how we're doing here. Yeah, exactly. Now, one neat trick that you can actually do with here is you have an auxiliary transfer option, and you can actually pump the fuel from one side to the other in the event that you have an emergency. That's what this little switch is for if you need to. I didn't take any damage, so I don't have to worry about it. Actually, it could have been 14C up here. You're right. I'm at 7,500 feet. So, yeah, that makes sense. I can't do math. I can't do math. Holy smokes, Peter. That's some serious altitude. Go Tash is just off our 12. Like you said, he's a new joiner to us. Welcome, welcome. Like I said, there's nothing too technical with our flying today. We'll save that for another day. We'll have to do some stuff in convection. As far as new thoughts coming forward, I was thinking about doing something with the L-39, as I kind of hinted at, because it's a pretty neat little jet. The comparable jet, obviously the F-18 can keep up with the L-39. Everybody's got a hold on that one. And the P-51 can almost keep up with the L-39, which is actually pretty scary if you ask me. I can't imagine that. All right, let's see here. Distance is 20, time is 4 minutes. We got to come down. Yeah, 1,000 feet. We'll do flick. I love this plane. You just pull the throttle back a little tiny bit, and it's like, all right, going down. All right, so the airport we're flying into today is called Mason, M-A-A-S-I-N. It could be Mawson as well. Like I said, I can't pronounce anything anyway. You should see me with student names. I'm so garbage at it. So what we're going to do is when you get there, you're going to basically have, if I recall correctly, yes. So you have this little teeny tiny cove right here that you're going to see right off on the side. If you follow the cove downwards, you're going to have this kind of little inlet right here, which looks like it's a little tiny bay kind of a thing. The airport itself, if you take the bay and you come over here to the left, it's going to be this guy basically chilling right in here like this. And like I said, if you take a look at my little kind of compass, or not compass, directional gyro. It's not even a directional gyro. Heading indicator. There's the technical term. It's going to be off there on the left, so that gives us the ability to kind of whoop and do one of those kind of things to pop us down to the ground pretty easily. And we're coming in way too fast. Gotta let the nose come down just a little bit. This will be sweet. Like I said, it's going to be right in there. And it's a very, very short runway. It's like 3,400 feet. 3,600. Let's see. Oh, I have a medium-sized desk with the Alpha Bravo. My desk is tiny. It's top of the Bravo Logitech. Oh, see, what I have is, I was showing people this off the other day, is I have an external monitor that I put all my instruments on. So I can do things like this, and I still know I'm going 237 knots without having any issues at all. It's such a handy feature. I can even tell you how much fuel I have, and I can tell you I've burned 65.3 gallons so far on the flight. C-22J. C-22J. Let me go check that out real quick. MSFS. Let me see what that is. C-22J. C-22J. Let me just see what that is. I'm sorry, I don't know. That's the little tiny jet, right? That is the cutest jet I've ever seen. Reminds me of a Cirrus jet. Oh, that's tiny. Is that like an A37? I'm asking William this one. Oh, Marty says he has a VKB, NXT, and Honeycomb. Use the NXT, feels like a proper stick. Yeah, I fly, actually the same thing. I have a VKB Gladiator as well. I have the, what do they call? It's like the fighter stick or whatever, sticking on the top one, the really big, complicated, the MCG Ultimate, I think they call it. And like I said, it's a desk mount with a big old 100mm extension there. It really changes the way you fly when you have that much room to move things. All right, let's go ahead and take manual control. And let's put the nose down a little bit here. Come off just a little bit to the left here. Like I said, with my previous setup with my stick, you know, being able to do a turn like the turn I'm doing right now, this like extremely deliberate thing, I could do it, but you'd have a little bit of this going on with it, just trying to keep the thing straight enough in order to do it. Now, because the stick travels so far, it's so much more easy to be precise. I don't have any curves on any of my aircraft anymore, which is just incredible. And then flying helicopters is actually possible now. I love it. So, William, I have not tried the C-22 yet. I have to find out about its performance a little bit. Robert, you're looking for the East USA server. So if you go right here, East USA is going to be the one we use. Like I said, I try to keep it in the region that I am. It just makes things a little bit simpler. All right, let's do it to it. Left base for tree 4. Oh my gosh, look at how tiny that is. Maybe this was a bad idea, everyone.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Well, good luck, everyone. Good luck. This is such a bad idea. What I'm doing is I'm doing a speed bleed here. I could always put the reversers on in mid-flight. That works, right? Oh my gosh. No, 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 no. This was a bad idea. Come to the right. One of the nice things, in case anybody needs the numbers. Ta-da! Get your landing speed between 130 and 101. So I usually like 1.2. Oh, it's right there, Zyhan. You can't miss it. It's right there. Like I said, this is just dangerous. Yeah, it's right there. It's right there. I can see the runway. In about half a second, everybody's going to see it, because like I said, YouTube has like a 25-second delay. So by the time you hear me say it, you're going to be like, what? So hit the reverses before touchdown. I think that's a good idea. I'm going to try to slip in a turboprop. Like, you're allowed to slip, right? Airspeed. Yeah, I'm getting below stall speed here. I got to let the nose come back down. Oh my gosh, this is not safe. And I'm way too high, too. All right, here we go. Oh my gosh, that is a short runway. All right, slip the plane. Oh my gosh. I'll move my seat up a little bit here so I can see the runway. Look at how tiny that is. Oh my gosh, this is not good. This is not good. Wish me luck, everyone. Check for gear, check for flaps. GUMPFLS, got it. Oh, I don't like this at all. I'm supposed to be doing 110, I'm doing 103, and I still feel like I'm going too fast. Oh, oh boy, no whammies. Oh, geez, no turbulence. Hello, runway tree 4. I'm going to hit you so hard it's going to look like an aircraft carrier landing. Reverse. Oh. We're here. Got it. Oh my, that was fun. Hey, wait, what? What? All right, you all have fun landing on that sucker. That sucked. That sucked. Oh man, that's maybe I should have checked a better airport for this, but hey, it worked fine. $10 on Sim Market. I gotta check that out, Will. I definitely gotta check that out. All right, for those who'd like to join us for a picture, that's perfectly welcome. I'm gonna go head over to this. Looks like a Cessna 170 here with Fasted, and like I said, you can come join us. It wasn't that bad. I think I over-exaggerated a little there, but that was pretty sketchy. I'm not thrilled with the landing either. That was a little bumpy. Whew. That tree in the way. I'm amazed somebody hasn't taken it with a little chainsaw yet. All right. If you'd like to come join us for the photo, feel free to come by over the side of things. I'm just going to reset this thing before it beeps in my ear, kind of a thing like that. Yeah, I was nervous, but it was fine. It was fine. All right, we'll get our photo. As always, I like to take a couple moments at the end of every one of these and ask people, are there any suggestions for videos you'd like to see going forward? Is there anything that things you'd like to see more of, anything you'd like to see less of? The Patreon question, honestly, it's still in the air, but I'm not touching that Patreon question until probably closer to the summertime, only on account of the fact that it's a lot of setup, and it's probably going to be a lot of extra time in order to get all that stuff sorted out. And I work 2 jobs now, so this is it's tough. It's tough. I'm just going to go ahead and get that picture. Nice. Nice. We got a couple people. Oh, Spitfire coming in. Love it. I like this guy zooming over here on the right. That's kind of big. Oh, yeah, got to get him in the picture properly here. Did you just back up? Oh no, Reaper, you got stuck. Love it. All right, I got our picture. We're looking great. I'm gonna go migrate over the runway here. I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to go online and go get a video here. So I'll show you a really fun trick for those of you who are looking for the world's shortest takeoff. What you do is hit the Y key and hold F4. And you go like this. And then you're about to crash. And then you hold F4 again. And then you do it one more time. And we got it. So for you who have not a cheap shot at that sucker, you definitely got to do it. All right, apparently there's a world's teeny tiniest little bay over here on the right, and unfortunately it's going to have a this beautiful, probably $7 million aircraft sitting in the middle of it in a second. But stuff happens. Stuff happens. I think that's the one I want right there. Yeah, that's it. Right there. It's lovely. Uh-huh. Get some negative G action here. Whee!
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
This is so wrong. Like I said, I never like my flight sim to know my statistics here. If I didn't crash so much, I'd probably have twice as many logged hours. This looks good right there. Got to make it real nasty too, and like catch a wing so the whole thing would spin in the real world. Whee! Love it. All right, folks, have an absolutely wonderful day and wonderful evening and wonderful afternoon. We'll see you in 2 weeks. I've got a couple ideas. Like I said, I'll do something with the jet. We haven't done anything in a while. We also haven't done anything in VATSIM in a while, so we'll have to go double check to see if there is anything